In this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders, Polnareff unearths an ancient robotic genie that will grant him 3 wishes. But first, it's sponsor time. You don't need a fancy suit or to work at a Fortune 500 company to look like the Monopoly guy. You just need a shitty hat and a monocle to make that happen. But if you want to look like a boss, then check out the Executive Razor from Dollar Shave Club. It has 6 high-quality stainless steel blades and a moisturizing strip, and you can check it out at dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time, shave money, and look like a sexy motherfucker doing it. Be careful what you wish for, you just might get it. This week's episode of Stardust Crusaders was a riff on the classic story of the wish with an ironic twist. And it kind of reminds me of Pet Sematary as well, but only because of one of the wishes that Polnareff makes. And that makes perfect sense because the creator of the series has a complete hard-on for classic horror movies. I really love the fact that in this week's episodes, the animators trolled me with their preview. They really made it seem like Avdol was going to be one of the major focuses this week, and in some senses he was. He was sort of in the background in a way. He's still dead, unfortunately, and I'm sort of coming to terms with the fact that he was killed, but we are introduced to another member of his family this week, Avdol's father, who looks exactly like him, except that he has gray hair, a goatee, and he even seems to have the same exact voice actor. And they actually run it to him on this mysterious island where he's living, like Tom Hanks on Castaway Island. Avdol's father is a complete shut-in and doesn't seem to like visitors at all, and he just sort of locks himself inside of his house. This is the part of the episode where Polnareff feels that he is responsible for telling Avdol's father about what happened, because he feels he is responsible for his death. But first he needs to compose himself a little bit, so he goes down to the beach to relax, and suddenly, just hanging out in the sand, he finds this golden magic lamp. This should have been the first flag for Polnareff to go back to the group and warn them what they just saw, because they've run into enough ridiculous stands and stand users at this point to pretty much be suspicious of anything. But Polnareff, being the inquisitive Frenchman that he is, decides to pick up the lamp, rub it, and out comes this ridiculous robotic genie, which is so clearly a stand. What is strange, though, is that it actually does grant wishes, and the first one he gets is he wants to be rich, and suddenly right next to him is all of this buried treasure. This is your first clue as to how his powers work, I'm guessing. But the next one are the ones that are going to shatter everything. He makes 2 more wishes to bring back his dead sister and Avdol. Now, they don't follow up on the Avdol thing until, like, the very end of the episode, and they slap a big to-be-continued thing on it, which just pisses you off. But what is really cool is, he actually does bring back Polnareff's sister, except that she's kind of insane. And this is the part of the episode that reminds me of Pet Sematary, and that's because this genie guy, who's known as the Judgement Stand, actually can bring back people from the dead. But they come back insane and crazy, and they need to consume flesh in order to bring themselves back to normal. And just because this series just loves killing random animals, there's plenty of time for her biting off the heads of parrots, which for some odd reason reminds me of the little kid from Dumb and Dumber. I know that that was a parakeet, but, you know, Petey didn't even have a head! So Polnareff's sister is creepy, and there's this one scene where he's trying to talk to her, and they're doing a great job of hiding the one side of her face. It's so obvious that it's gonna look really messed up or disgusting, and a part of her eye is missing, and it looks all disgusting and zombie-like, and she literally starts to attack Polnareff and bite a huge chunk out of his shoulder and of his leg, and then he makes this other wish, which he thinks is going to be the end of it, and he tries to make his sister be dead again, but the genie says he can't do that, because once he's already made a wish happen, he can't get rid of it, and plus, Polnareff already made another wish, which is to bring back Avdol. He doesn't outright say that, but the episode ends right there, and you just know that any second there's going to be a zombified Avdol just appearing out of nowhere, with Magician's Red just destroying everything. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders? This was the shit, guys. This was another really great episode, which looks like it's going to turn into another great 2-parter. The animation, in particular the artwork and colors this week, were really great. I especially loved the beach setting, and I like how it ominously got so dark. as the episode was going on. It was really obvious, though, the minute you saw this, like, magic lamp hanging out in the sand covered with barnacles with a frickin' demon face on it, that it was going to be trouble. And the minute you saw what the actual genie looked like, you could just tell this is definitely a stand. All of the stands in the series seem to have, like, a theme of either being, like, totally organic or almost robotic in a sense, and that's sort of what gave it away. I do like the fact that it is like an ironic twist kind of thing, like it'll give you a wish, and apparently its powers have to do with like your innermost desires, what you truly want. So I guess we could just say that Polnareff really just wanted a lot of money, he wanted his sister back, and clearly he wanted Abdul there. So I can't wait to see how that's going to happen, because I can't wait to see the return of Abdul, and maybe there is a chance that he could come back in a sense. I still want the character to return, because I just thought he was so incredibly badass. I loved his design. He's featured in the intro, like, so much, and they could do a lot with him. I really wish they would have done more with his father this week, and the reason I think they're mostly keeping it, like, kind of secretive is because I still think that he might actually be the stand user, and maybe he's actually just sort of like testing out Polnareff. Although if he is testing him, he's giving him a really messed up test by bringing his sister back to life and freaking making her attack him like a freaking zombie. But still, it's really exciting stuff, and there were a few scenes that were definitely stand out, especially when he was bringing out Silver Chariot. The only thing is, I really wish that the group would, like, work in twos now. They really need to stay with each other, because by letting Polnareff go alone, they really left him vulnerable, and they should know by now, because every single place they've gone to, which they felt is going to be safe, they end up getting attacked by another stand user. And that should have just been a huge red flag. Somebody needs to put a freaking bell on Polnareff or something. It's really weird. Otherwise, the technical stuff, like I said, the animation, the artwork and everything looks really, really good. I was kind of annoyed by the fact that, like, Polnareff didn't realize that something was up with his sister. He should have really understand. He should be like one of those characters that, you know, he should be able to see through the bullshit at this point. Like, this is another one of those classic scenes that you see not only in anime, but like in movies and books and TV, where someone is brought back to life or something, and they just can't accept it when they realize they actually have to fight him, and they can't fight at full strength. And that pisses me off, because they do it all of the time, and that's just a minor nitpick, and really won't have an effect on my overall score this week, because I love the story this week. I love how mysterious it is, and hopefully just getting to see Abdul return in, like, zombified Freaky Pet Cemetery form will be really fun, if only to see Magician's Red again, because that was just such a great stand, and the fact that it'll be, like, Polnareff and Abdul going up against each other is absolutely perfect. The thing is, who is the stand user? Polnareff is going to have to fight back against the Judgement stand, which I believe he calls himself Cameo. I believe that's his name. But otherwise, awesome episode right here, action-packed, really great artwork. Polnareff, again, being a great showcase character. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He basically should be the main character over Jotaro at this point, but that's only because he has had some of the most entertaining and ridiculous episodes, and some of the best development from the entire series. You look at Jotaro, he's basically just the badass muscle. I know there's going to be a lot more to him, and it'll probably get more involved the closer they get to Egypt, and of course, the closer they get to Dio. And I am so glad they are keeping Dio so mysterious. Throughout this entire series, he has barely been shown at all. And in the last couple of episodes, we haven't even seen any sort of hint of him. So you know when they finally get to Dio, it is going to be the greatest, most metal thing ever. So I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited, because I'm giving this week's episode an 8 out of 10. Check this one out, guys. Great stuff. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, hit that like button so you can give this video a thumbs up, and make sure to tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Stardust Crusaders. Who do you think the stand user is of this weird robotic genie? And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. Our most popular ones tend to be our Naruto anime and manga. We're covering both of those, so make sure and check out the links for those at the end of the video. And make sure to also follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for all of that in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.